Yeah,
Yeah, I can see you.
you can see me. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for jumping on, Jamie. I appreciate it. And yeah, just wanted to catch up really, and just we've been working together now for about 2 months, I think, nearly. And you're a recruitment director, and you reached out to me a while ago, and yeah, just wanted to find out how you found things so far working, with myself, and yeah, what were the challenges that you were facing?
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty eye-opening, to say the least. I think a lot of people don't really want to take the plunge of speaking to someone and addressing things like stress and anxiety, especially if you work in a sales role or a recruitment type role. The kind of ups and downs of that world can have an effect on yourself.
Hmm.
So I mean, for me, my job was getting more and more demanding. My life was getting a lot more demanding. I had two young boys in quite close proximity,
Hmm.
and I just felt that the self-love and the appreciation for life was just fading away a little bit. So I
Hmm.
became quite stressed and anxious for a long time.
Yeah.
Relationships with like my partner and friends and family and work colleagues weren't as good as they had been in the past.
Hmm.
Um, and I just decided to do something about it. I'm a little bit fed up of just not being happy and not feeling like myself, and being this kind of stressed, anxiety ridden kind of ball of negative energy over the last sort of year or two. And we got in touch with each other, and I've picked up a lot of helpful life advice and a lot of information around mindfulness and meditation. It's just helped me to be a much stronger person at work and for my family at home, and
Hmm.
just really love myself again and be comfortable in my own skin again.
Amazing. And what's changed in your life since we obviously started a couple of months ago?
So yeah, say again, it's quite quiet.
That's all right. What's changed in your life since we started working together a couple of months ago?
So the big changes, they come from very, it's like feeling the changes come from very small steps, from very small changes. So
Yeah.
things like putting the kind of meditation in place, getting to learn how that works, looking at the diet as well. So kind of, well, I can't remember what the terminology was. What's
In,
the diet called again? Intermittent.
intermittent
Yeah.
fasting.
So looking at like the intermittent dieting, that's helped really well. So yeah, I just feel like I've got a lot more energy on a
Hmm.
day-to-day basis. I feel like I'm a lot more focused at work. I can prioritize tasks better. You take time to sort of reflect and pause, which does help you clear your mind and keep focused. Yeah, just feel a lot more confident, more comfortable in my skin. Um, Relationship with my family and work colleagues is a lot stronger than what it has been in the last year or two.
Hmm.
And then that's just been a result, obviously, working with yourself, Jake, and you know putting the time and effort in to really commit to mindfulness and meditation, and
Yeah,
sort of going on the journey.
definitely. And you've been very, committed and disciplined, and open to learning things that are new, which I think is key. Being curious, open to like exploration of new things, and yeah, you've been very open throughout the whole process, and I think that's been testament to you. And like I've said to you on our own calls, like the credit goes to you. So yeah, well done, mate, for all the hard work so far, and let's keep going on it. And what have because obviously I speak to a lot of people, and you know some people don't really understand what it is, or what coaching will do for them, or maybe they're just not ready for it. But what would you say to someone potentially considering working with myself one to one? Like, how would you explain your experience.
I think, I mean, my experience, and I assume it probably is the same for a lot of professionals out
Yeah,
there. You think you don't really need to speak to someone, whether
yeah,
that is a performance coach or a therapist or even a friend or a family member.
yeah,
You think it's kind of like weakness in that, and
yeah,
there's that stigma attached to it. But you just kind of have to sort of throw that away, because that the whole sort of journey and the whole thing about this for me is learning to really sort of love yourself and be happy.
yeah,
And one of the best ways of doing that is actually speaking to someone,
yeah,
whether that is yourself, Jake, or a friend, a therapist, a colleague, whatever it is. Just take the leap and just give it a chance. You could always stop doing it if it's not for you, or if you don't feel ready. But I think, you've just got nothing to lose, and by doing so, it's quite likely you'll probably lead a much happier, more energetic life, to be honest with you, especially if you're in a stressful job.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And I also get asked quite a lot, like, what is it you specialize in, or how does it work, or what is mindfulness or meditation? Like, in a quick summary, kind of, what would you say if someone wanted to work with me? What would you say the main things are that you've experienced from working with me? Like, is it understanding the mind more? Is it awareness? Is it mindfulness, meditation? Just having someone to speak to, where it's an opportunity to process your own thoughts and emotions. But I think it'd be helpful to come from people that I work with, in terms of what they have found or what kind of coach I am.
Yeah, I mean, it's all of the above. Again, just going back to sort of learning to love yourself again.
Yeah,
I think understanding that you are a very capable individual. It's linked into that mindfulness. You are capable of achieving great things. The world is much bigger than you. Realizing that. The meditation side of things, I think that really helps you to take a step back. And for me, what's helped with sort of stress in particular, and sort of negative emotions like anger or
yeah,
disappointment in yourself and things like that, the meditation has been huge for me for that. It really kind of, when you do it, it sets the tone for the day.
yeah,
Like I say, it gives you more energy, it makes you happier, gives you that motivation that you need. And if you kind of couple that with like the diet side of things, doing more exercise. And I think one of the big things for me was finding those pockets of time, which you helped me to do.
yeah,
Like before, I never would have dreamed that I could have even 10 minutes to do meditation, to think about the food that I eat, to go out
yeah,
on walks and do extra exercises. That's a huge thing.
yeah,
And then obviously the mindfulness side of things, that's what we've been going through a lot over the last couple of months. Because I don't think people really take a minute to sort of sit back and actually understand their thoughts and
hmm,
how they're thinking and why they're thinking that,
hmm,
and how your thoughts and your mind aren't you and don't
hmm,
define that. That's obviously a big part of the mindfulness training.
yeah,
I think I mean, it's not easy to do that, especially in a stressful job. And if you've got a stressful sort of environment at home, young kids, for example,
yeah,
it's really quite hard when you are getting stressed, or you're getting angry, or you feel sad or disappointed. It's really quite tricky to sort of say to yourself immediately, right, I'm going to take a minute, I'm going to reflect on how I feel and what I'm thinking, and I'm going to let that go and just
hmm,
reconnect with myself. And I probably struggled to do that kind of instantaneously for the first few weeks. It was coming 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, an hour later, when these sort of situations or feelings arose. But I think the more and more you do it, and the more you understand the mindfulness and the meditation, it starts to become a bit more natural, and you find yourself kind of naturally reacting in that way and having that pause for thought and
hmm.
taking a breath. So yeah, it's been fantastic for me, and I wouldn't recommend it more for anyone else who is in a stressful job or has stress at home, and just wants to learn to, I guess, just sort of be happier in themselves and have more energy and have more empathy and be more focused and just more relaxed.
Yeah, sounds good. And the final thing would be, obviously it's helped with clarity and happiness and energy and all these different areas in your work and personal life in 2 months. But how has it affected your performance at work? All those other things, how have they then helped you with your day-to-day work environment?
I think it massively helps with kind of prioritizing things.
Yeah.
When you kind of take that time to really take a step back, you know, you take some breaks, you do a little bit of exercise, you do some meditation, it just brings you back to your center, and that it just gives you the clarity that you need to focus. Okay, you know, what's important, what's out of my control, what's within my control, and it just allows you to really have, like I say, really good clarity on, you know, the task that's at hand or other tasks, you know, how you prioritize those. So yeah, I think for me, I've become a lot more efficient because my mind is a lot clearer.
Yeah.
You know, before, if I had a pretty heavy workload in a day, my mind would feel kind of almost foggy.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm rushing through these tasks and it's almost like a bit of a panic. Whereas now, sort of using mindfulness and meditation, you know, I just feel, even when it's overwhelming, like the workload, it's still very clear in how I can organize my tasks, my priorities, and what I can achieve that day, that hour, that minute, that week, etc., etc. So for work, it just is a huge thing.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, mate. I really appreciate your time and the openness and honesty, and I'm sure it's gonna help others, you know. And yeah, I really appreciate it, and it's been a pleasure working with you so far, and I'm looking forward to continuing on this path.
Brilliant. Me too.
Thanks, mate. Speak to you soon.
Yeah, no worries. Take it easy, Jake.
See you, mate.
Bye.